This is the Sixth Man Show, an Orlando Magic podcast, with your hosts, Kevin Tucker and Jonathan Osborne, covering all things Magic basketball. By fans, for fans. Go Magic!
What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? You guys are back with the Sixth Man Show. Today is November 10th, 2025. Jonathan Osborne here, as always, joined by my co-host, Kevin Tucker. Kevin Tucker, this is like the worst episode of Groundhog Day ever.
I was literally just about to say, you ever like go to a theme park with a friend and that friend falls in love with the ride and you're like, it's all right, but whatever. And they just want to go on it over and over and over again. And by like the fourth or fifth time, you're just like, okay, that's where I am right now with this Orlando Magic season, because it's literally been a roller coaster, up and down and up and down. And I'm sick of it. I'm literally sick of it already. Can we just have some good games in a row instead of this like back and forth thing? I don't know, man. It sucks.
At what point, though, do you turn to your friend and be like, hey, bro, this ride sucks. I don't know if you realize that. And then, most people would be like, oh, really? You don't like this ride? Okay, let's go do something else.
Yeah.
But we keep screaming at this team, hey, like what you're doing is not working. It's not great. You're not playing good basketball. And they continue to do a lot of the same things. Mainly tonight, it was turnovers. And we'll talk about that and the literally Jamal Mosley coaching tenure theme that has been a problem. And at some point, I do think it's coaching. Steve Clifford used to say you can't coach decisions. I don't agree with that. If a guy blatantly throws a behind the back pass to the other team, take him out of the game. I don't care who it is. Make an example of him and say, hey, we cannot continue to do this. Or if a guy dribbles into four guys and turns the ball over and it goes to the other team, pull him and say, look, we are not doing this. Make an example, hold somebody accountable. We'll talk about all of that. But really quickly, this episode is brought to you by Bill Fulton, Bruv Sal, Daniel Anderson, Barry Fritz, and Nikki Nunu. These are some of our Hall of Fame and Elite tier patrons. These folks went to patreon.com/the Sixth Man Show and joined our Hall of Fame and Elite tiers. We give them a special shout out each and every episode, and we shout out brand new patrons whenever we have them. So shout out to Jalen Lawson. And finally, I've been waiting years, have joined the Patreon. That is such an awesome inside joke that people are not going to, I'm just going to lay it out for you really quickly. That's our boy Jesus. Years ago, he went to a game and Mo Bamba finally checked in like towards the end of the game and he's videotaping and he literally goes, Mo Bamba, finally, I've been waiting years. And he sent it to me and he's got the best laugh ever. So that's why his name is that. But anyways, we appreciate everybody that shows love, helps support the show. We can't do anything without you guys. So if you want to help the show, head over to patreon.com/the Sixth Man Show. Pick whatever tier works best for you. Kevin, we got some really sad news earlier in the weekend. Magic assistant, interim head coach, and longtime radio analyst Richie Adubato passed away. No easy way to say that. Anytime you lose a member of the Orlando Magic family and community and someone who is part of the team and what they have done for so long up until basically 2020 when the Magic did away with that version of the radio broadcast, I guess, because they have brought it back officially. But yeah, interim coach, part of a lot of really good Magic teams, took over in 97 when Brian Hill, I think they started like 24-25 that year, something like that. And he took over, got them to the playoffs, lost a close series to the Miami Heat. But yeah, I always appreciated listening to the radio like back in the day. I remember specifically the game winner, if I'm remembering correctly, the game winner where Nikola Vucevic hit the buzzer beater against the Lakers in I think it was Roy Hibbert's face. I remember driving back from church that night, listening to that game on the radio. Yeah, it's always tough when stuff like this happens.
Yeah, I've talked about it a few times on the show, but when I was just a wee lad, I had a bedtime, and as many of us do, right? And
now that's come full circle. You have a bedtime again now because you're an old man.
No, I don't know, not quite the same, but yes. But so I would go to bed, but if the Magic game was still going on, because sometimes they're a little bit late, I had this really old, like 1990s, maybe even 80s, like old clock radio that, was so innocent by my bed. It was my alarm clock to wake me up in the mornings. But little did my parents know that's also how I listened to Magic games after bedtime. So I would grab that radio and put it under my covers and listen to Dennis Newman, and it could have been Richie Adubato, could have been Jeff Turner, depending on what year it was. And so yeah, very, very fond memories of that, and very fond memories of listening to just the wisdom that comes with someone as seasoned, not just in basketball, but in life, as Richie Adubato. So, and then obviously by all accounts, everyone within the organization that knew him just always speaks so highly of him as a person. And so, yeah, obviously very, very difficult loss. Lived a long life, and full of all kinds of great things and ultimately wisdom. And so, yeah, a lot we can learn from him. And obviously condolences to his family. But yeah, another big loss for the Magic family.
And a New Jersey guy. Obviously, shout out to that. And then the whole broadcast crew tonight wearing his ties. I thought that was really cool.
It was really cool.
A nice nod. And yeah, just the last couple of years with Pat Williams and now Richie Adubato, and obviously, years before that, Rich and Helen DeVos. It's always tough when literal titans of the franchise, pass on. And again, prayers to his family, and our thoughts are with them. And tough week for the Magic family. Okay, we're going to transition, Kev, and jump into this week's weekly state of the Magic. This week, the Magic went 1-2 with a loss to the Hawks on Tuesday, a win over the Celtics on Friday, and then the loss tonight as we're recording this to the Celtics on Sunday. Sitting on the season at 4-6, the Magic are 11th in the East now. They've fallen out of the play-in race. They're 3.5 games back of first place Detroit, 3 games back of Cleveland, 2.5 games back of New York, Chicago, and Philadelphia, 2 games back of Miami and Milwaukee, 1 game back of Toronto and Atlanta. Gross. And now a half game back of the Boston Celtics. The Magic are now up to 20th in offensive rating on the year. They're almost out of the bottom 10, but they're still in the bottom 10 with an offensive rating of 113.9, and they're currently 13th in defensive rating with a defensive rating of 114.1 rather, 19th in net rating with a negative 0.2, and they're all the way down now to 14th in pace with a 101.80. So it's interesting that the offensive rating continues to climb, even though the pace has fallen the last few games, where we have seen the Magic kind of, it seems like, almost deliberately play at a slower pace. And instead of all of the focus being on just playing the offense faster, we have seen more of an emphasis on defending and then using your defense to turn that into offense and kind of getting out in transition and getting easy baskets that way. So there has been some improvement, but as we're going to talk about, there's still a lot of issues as well. Taking a look at the injury report, Mo Wagner is still out with the ACL. Other than that, the injury report is clean. Jalen Suggs did play a season-high 29 minutes tonight in the loss to the Celtics. We do have a back-to-back. As you're listening to this, you know that the Magic played the Blazers tonight. So it's going to be important to look out for that. Jalen probably won't play, I'm guessing, Kevin.
Yeah, that would be a surprise, especially considering he's still under apparently this minutes restriction. As we hit 3 weeks into the season so far. I mean, tonight was his most minutes, 28-39. So that's good. Maybe we'll see him turn the corner. But yeah, I'd be really surprised after playing 29 minutes tonight if he'd play on Monday.
I will say it is really it is encouraging that all of a sudden you go from 21 minutes up to 29. So hopefully that's a sign that I don't know how long it's going to be before he's allowed to play back-to-backs. But hopefully this is a sign that when he does play, he's going to be trending towards 33, 34, 35 minutes a game, which is really where the Magic are going to need him to be. Before we get into Friday's game against the Celtics, just want to let you all know and remind you that this Wednesday at Wall Street is going to be the next watch party of the year as the Magic take on the New York Knicks. That game tips off, I believe, at 7 o'clock. I'm taking a look at, that's at 7 o'clock. That game's going to be on ESPN. Watch party's going to get going at 6:30. Again, that's going to be Wall Street in downtown Orlando. So if you can make it out, please make it out. Support our boys. Big game. That's really starting to feel like one that the Magic need. You can't have all these tiebreakers, going the other way if the East is going to be as close as it's starting to look like it could potentially possibly be. So again, Wednesday, game starts at 7:00, Wall Street Plaza, downtown Orlando. Be there. Okay, let's go back to Friday, Kevin, because again, after the loss to Atlanta, where it felt like the sky was falling, you had a really big opportunity going into that Friday game where, hey, if we're able to get a win here on Friday and then carry that over into Sunday, all of a sudden then you're 5-5 and things are starting to look pretty good. Big first quarter run out of the Magic to take a decent lead on Friday. I had this in my notes, had to mention it. There's a final possession of the first quarter with Franz on the floor that essentially ended up being like an Anthony Black ISO pull up for three. I don't know why that would ever be the case when you have Franz Wagner on the floor, and it seems like insignificant. Like, why would you just mention that one play? It's starting to feel like indicative of the entire season of not using guys correctly and not giving our best players really the opportunities that they need to be effective. But then there was a 13-point lead that wasn't completely given up, but Boston was able to cut into it quite a bit. That lineup with Tyus, AB, Franz, J.I., and Goga, which I just despise. Any lineup featuring 3 or 4 of those guys, not named Franz. But you did have an 8-point halftime lead, taking a lot of threes. The Magic were to start the third, not really able to break that game open too much. Had 13 turnovers through 3 quarters. I also mentioned here that the Tyus starts to the second and the fourth quarters absolutely killed the Magic. We'll go through in the box score, talk about his plus minus. A lot of missed free throws in this one. It was pretty tight down the stretch, but the last 4 minutes, just huge threes from Desmond Bane, Wendell Carter Jr., and then Dell just made huge plays late. Like, I'm thinking of like that coast to coast where you had like the Euro step into the and one. We'll go through the box score and just talk about how good those guys were. But in those final minutes, like, you're just able to extend the lead, and the Magic end up with the 123-110 win in a game that you just absolutely had to have, and they got it, and you felt great going into Sunday, but we will talk about Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's one you have to have, and it was very much and some Magic fans are going to hate this phrase, but by committee win. You ended up having, 7 guys in double figures. Paolo wasn't great.
Mosley made it like 7 seconds into his post-game comments before he said by committee.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Paolo wasn't great. Franz was. And so you love to see one guy pick up for another, but also worth noting 2 things. Number 1, Desmond's best game in a Magic uniform on Friday. Thought he was very good. The other thing, the silver lining to this game, if I can just, diverge from basketball for a little bit, was the debut of the statement jerseys, because those are absolutely sick. Most of us liked them, but seeing them on the court, especially with the shorts, oh my gosh, I love them. I think they're my favorite. So sick. I think they are too. I thought it was the whites, and I love the whites. The whites are great, but that's like picking my favorite child. Don't make me.
The best part is they're all amazing.
They're all great. But man, part of me wants. They would never do this, but I would love to see them wear the white jerseys with the black shorts for a game. Oh my gosh. Come on, sign me up.
I don't know that would look good.
Well, that's the thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I think it would look good. So you can, whatever.
That's fine.
Anyway, so yeah, that was great. Tristan was outrageous in this game. Again, I know we'll talk about him Sunday night as well, but what was also outrageous is that he only played 17 minutes in this game, despite just being electric. So that was great. But all in all, I came away from this game very, very encouraged. Like, I thought this was a good performance against a good team. And I think I thought it was going to give the match maybe a little bit of momentum going into Sunday and honestly going forward, but obviously didn't quite give enough momentum for Sunday night.
Yeah. 15 turnovers in this one to 14 from Boston. I mean, the biggest difference for this game was 17 of 36 from 3, 47% from 3. Anytime the Magic do that, it's going to end up in a win.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020, right? Like 123 points when you shoot 47%, hit 17 threes. I mean, I know in this one, especially, like the pace was down from a lot of the other games that we've seen. But, especially like when you just look at Boston's roster, number one, I know people have been talking about this for the last couple of years, but I don't think Joe Mazzulla gets enough credit for how good of a coach he is and like how well he coaches that team and prepares that team. But like, if you just run down the list, Jaylen Brown, Josh Minott, Neemias Queta, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Anthony Simons, Luka Garza, Sam Hauser, Jordan Walsh, Hugo Gonzalez. Like, we out-talent this team, right? And shooting the ball that well, like, you just should have won this game by more than 13, right? Like, I don't think that's a necessarily crazy thing to say. The thing that coming away from these 2-game series now is we can't only win games when this team hits 15 plus threes. Like the Orlando Magic that we're used to and accustomed to is, you only made 9 or 10 threes tonight. You still found a way to like grind out a victory. And this team just like hasn't gotten to that point of being able to play like maybe not beautiful offense, but like mostly sound, like fundamental basketball. And to me, a lot of it is the turnovers. And I think we can kind of just go right from this game into that game. Mentioning Franz, 27 points in this one. Desmond Bane, 22. Like you mentioned, he was awesome. Had the big 3 late that really kind of put the Magic over the hump. It felt like Jaylen was decent. 14 points, 5 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3, but just the 20 minutes. It's really just the minutes that have felt like are holding him back. Tristan was really good. AB was really good in this game. Like, felt like everybody that saw the floor was really good. Paolo, 15, 9, and 4 on 4 of 10 shooting, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Like a decent game for anybody else. But for him, it's just like, hey, we kind of need more. But it did kind of feel like he noticed that other guys just kind of had it going and was fine with that. But as we'll talk about in this one, we just kind of need him to hit that next gear and just be the best player on the floor every single night for us. And he hasn't gotten to that level consistently just yet. So now let's go ahead and we'll go to Sunday. And so Magic start off the game 21-9 lead, give up a 15-5 run. Anthony Simons in the first half, all of his points, 25 points off the bench. He had 9 in the first quarter, 16 in the second. He had 17 straight points for the Celtics, spanning the first and second quarters. Magic go on an 18-6 run to end the first half, tied up 54-54. Then have a 2-point lead going into the fourth. Celtics have a 13-0 run in the early to mid part of the fourth quarter. Magic have to fight and come all the way back. They got very close to the rule tonight, Kevin. They were down 11 with like 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go, I think, before Paolo hits a couple of free throws to cut it to 9. So they're under the 10 or more points with 5 minutes to go. Luka Garza offensive rebounds in the fourth and second half especially just continue to kill us. And then it was the Jaylen Brown, Derek White late threes as the Magic were getting back into that game. I want to say they cut it to 4 or 3. And then Derek White hit a 3. They would cut it again to, I think, 3. Jaylen Brown hit a really deep one. And then as they were coming back at the end, the dagger was the Jordan Walsh, like corner 3. That was really what ended the game. Outscored 50-18 in terms of bench points. We talked about Anthony Simons and how good he was. But the Magic, 7 for 30 from the 3-point line, 23%. And the Celtics, 13 for 33, 39.4%. They had 14 turnovers that the Magic turned into 17 points off those turnovers. The Magic had 17 turnovers that Boston turned into 29 points off of turnovers. The shooting and the turnovers, that was essentially the game.
Yeah, 100%. A couple things just to add to this. You mentioned Anthony Simons. In case you didn't watch this game, let me just tell you, like, you're going to look at the box score and go, oh, Anthony Simons played well off the bench. He had 23 points in 9 minutes. 9.
Just
23 points in
making.
9 minutes. It was ridiculous. Absolutely obscene. So I just had to provide that context.
Some of it was not good defense. A lot of it was 100%. Like really good defense.
That's right.
The shot on Franz was just preposterous.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous stuff. But part of that, the other part of that is the Celtics end up with 50 bench points. Now, obviously, Anthony Simons is going to take half of that. But still, you take away Anthony Simons and their bench still outscored the Magic's bench 25-18, right? So that's always going to be tough. And then, like you mentioned, the 3-point shooting. Jaylen Brown didn't hit a 3 all night until that 3.
Yeah.
And obviously, Derek White, shot the 3 ball okay. And then Jordan Walsh was 2 for 2. But yeah, Jaylen Brown hadn't made a 3 all night. And the Magic had it down to 2 at the Jaylen Brown 3. So, like, this game was there for the taking, but I mean, at the end of the day, the Celtics knocked down big threes, timely threes, and the Magic just once again incapable of doing so. Not just timely threes, but any threes. Like you said, 23% from 3 tonight. It's just woeful. And the biggest thing, though, for me in that category is Desmond Bane taking 1 3-pointer. 1. You bring this guy in, a lethal shooter. I don't mean that pun at all, but
oh my gosh, I understand it now.
Yeah, 35 minutes he played tonight. It's not like he was like in foul trouble. Oh, he only played 15. 35 minutes and took 1 3. How is that even possible?
And this wasn't a game where it was like he was passing looks up. Like they were just not getting him looks.
Yeah. And I understand Boston is they may not be an elite defensive team right now, but they are schematically a very good defensive team. They are
very solid,
very
good
solid
principles, good execution.
Right. And to their credit, I bet they know, hey, this team sucks at shooting threes. Let's just make sure we clamp down on the one guy who could potentially get it going for them from distance. And they made life difficult. It's not like Desmond Bane was necessarily wide open all night, but that's part of the problem. You need to find ways to get him open. And yeah, taking 1 3 is that's obscene. That should never, ever happen. We were talking preseason, words from his own mouth, saying he thought he would take 8 to 9 threes a game. And here he is taking 1. It's just not good enough.
We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from Posit Group. Posit Group is your home team on and off the court. Not only are they supporting our show as the official real estate group of the Six Man Show, but they're the official real estate group of the Orlando Magic. They are your Orlando real estate resource of choice. They're the most followed real estate brand in Central Florida. They're the 2025 Orlando Weekly Best of Orlando for real estate. They've helped over 2,500 plus families buy and sell here in Orlando. They're impacting lives through real estate. Posit Group agents outsell the competition by 5 times, and they're in the top 1% of sales in the United States. So whether you think, hey, maybe I might be in the market for a home in Orlando, or you're looking to sell your current home, maybe you're looking to upsize, downsize, just move to a different part of town, or you know somebody that might be selling or looking to buy a home, look for Posit Group. Go to Posit.com. Ken and his entire team, nobody does it better in Orlando. If you are on Instagram or social media at all and you follow like Orlando real estate stuff, you've definitely seen their work. They just do such a great job, not only buying, helping people buy and sell real estate, but also just like letting you know what's going on like around the city. So be sure to follow them again, Posit.com. A big shout out to Posit Group. Thank you so much for supporting the Six Man Show.
And now it's time for the weekly segment, the Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week, brought to you by Jam Hot Chicken. This week, the winner is Wendell Carter Jr. This was Friday night's game against the Celtics. They're in the second quarter, I believe. Yeah, second quarter. Franz is in trouble in the paint, but he dishes it to Wendell Carter Jr., who goes up strong and throws it down. Ends up being a one-handed dunk. This was big for a couple reasons. Number one, because Wendell had gotten swatted a couple times already this night. And so this was just more like I'm done getting swatted. I'm just going to go throw this down. And it was also a pretty big moment in the game. This gave the Magic a double-digit lead there in the second quarter. And so shout out to Wendell for the lovely dunk and this week's Jam Hot Chicken Jam of the Week. Jam Hot Chicken, they're bringing Jam's culture and hot chicken to the heart of Winter Park and now to Winter Garden as well. You can find them at 400 West New England Avenue, Suite 13 in Hannibal Square there in Winter Park, or in Winter Garden at the Plant Street Market. Their new place, I know, Jonathan, you've been able to go there. You had nothing but rave reviews to offer for the new spot for Jam Hot Chicken. So really cool. They've got 2 spots. So whether you're in Winter Park or Winter Garden, you want that amazing spicy hot chicken, they're the place to go for sure. You can also follow them on social media at Jam Hot Chicken or visit their website, jamhotchickenfl.com. When you go to Jam Hot Chicken, use the code 6MAN. It gets you 10% off your order, whether you're ordering online ahead or you place the order in person. You can just tell the person at the cash register, code 6MAN. That'll get you 10% off your order as well. So big shout out to Jam for hooking all our viewers and listeners up with a 10% discount, and big shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I mean, Franz, not good in this game. He went, what was it? 5 of 17 from the floor, 1 of 4 from behind the arc, had 9 of 10 free throws, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. Just like, he wasn't good just because like he wasn't trying, but he was just like missing a lot of looks that he often makes, and they just weren't going down tonight. Paolo, I have a complicated relationship with the Paolo game tonight. 28 points, 9 of 16. I think 11 of those points, 11 or 13 of those points came in the fourth quarter. 0 of 5 from behind the arc, 10 of 10 at the free throw line was massive. We needed every single one of those tonight. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 turnovers, and 5 personal fouls tonight. Those 6 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, like, it felt like he had a 10 turnover game. Like when you combine all of that. And I do think there were a couple, and he had 5 personal fouls, and that was with one of a foul that was originally called being challenged and overturned.
Right. So
if you don't get the right angle, Paolo potentially fouls out of this game. 28, 6, and 4 on 56% shooting and 100% at the free throw line where you take 10 free throws. Like, on its face, that's a very good game. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's a Paolo energy thing. It's not an emphasis from the coaching staff on getting him the ball. But going into the fourth quarter and basically until like the last 6-7 minutes of that fourth, it was like these are 2 bad Paolo games in a row. Now, again, he ends up with 28, 9 of 16. So, on its face, you look at that's pretty good. Then you see the turnovers and the fouls. You're like, that's not great. But Jamal Mosley talked about it in the post-game presser. 17 turnovers for 29 points. And it was guys making bad passes and driving into crowds. He was asked, in my opinion, fair questions from Jason Beatty and Philip Rossman-Reich, just in terms of the rotations and getting guys going. And he just kept bringing it back to the turnovers. The turnovers were atrocious. Like I said, there's a Jalen Suggs first half turnover where he just inexplicably tries a behind the back pass. I want to say it was Franz in the corner, and it wasn't even close. It went, I think it might have been Derek White. It went directly to the Celtics. And as much as we love Jalen, and he was awesome tonight, and we'll talk about that and how this team cannot be successful without Jalen Suggs. He's got to tone down. I don't know if it's just the flashiness or he's trying to play with an edge and a swagger and get other guys fired up. But he's making 1 to 2 plays a game where you're thinking, what are you thinking in that moment? Yeah. And that was one of those. As we go down the list, Wendell had 3 turnovers. Franz 2, Paolo 6, Wendell 3, Jalen 3. That's 75 to 80% of the entire team turnovers there. And Paolo, it was just not being aware of where defenders are and they're coming up from behind you and poking the ball loose, or he's dribbling into 2 and 3 guys and the ball's just getting knocked loose from him. And then the fouls, I don't know. For me, that's a tough thing because I do always feel like the Magic they get officiated inconsistently at times. Sometimes they're able to play with more physicality than others, and it doesn't ever feel like they're ratcheting that up anymore at different parts of the game. It just feels like the refs are we're going to call it sometimes, and sometimes we're not going to call it. It didn't, to me, feel like any of the Paolo fouls were super egregious. To his credit, he played with 4 fouls for a lot of this game, and played with 5 fouls late into this game and didn't end up fouling out. I felt like when he was in foul trouble, he did a pretty good job of being able to stay in the games without picking up those additional fouls. But when you look at it and it's 6 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, it's like you're giving the other team a ton of opportunities for extra points. So did you feel like that? Like outside of those last like 6 or 7 minutes, he did not have a great game.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. I thought neither Franz nor Paolo had a great game. Like you said, those last few minutes, he was able to get some buckets, get to the line. Now, again, them combining for 19 of 20 from the line is just terrific. Like, obviously, great.
Yeah, 30 of 32 from the line.
Yeah.
We'll take that every time.
Absolutely. It stinks that was wasted on a loss, but yeah, no, I definitely agree. I wanted to bring up something else. We talked about the bench, the Boston bench outscoring the Magic bench, even without Anthony Simons. The bench just wasn't good tonight outside of Tristan. Obviously, Tristan continues to just play so well and ends up playing 23 minutes tonight. But what's surprising is like how bad the numbers are for this bench unit tonight. Like I think specifically about the lead guard spot. Like Jalen Suggs is a plus 21 in basically 29 minutes, plus 21. The other two guys that would come in and fill time potentially for Jalen, or at least that role, Anthony Black, a minus 25 in 19 minutes. And Tyus Jones, a minus 14 in 10 minutes. So, I mean, per minute, even worse, right? Like those guys, minus 14, minus 25 compared to Jalen, who was a plus 21. Like night and day difference. Yeah, team high. And we've talked about it many times. Many people talk about this. You can't just cherry pick necessarily plus minus stats. There's always more as far as individual goes. There's always more to the story. There's context that's important, but maybe minus 25 is harsh on AB, but it wasn't good, right? Like even if you take away 10 at minus 15, that's still not good in a
lot of those minutes were the Anthony Simons minutes.
Right. That's also true. Yeah. And what ends up being a one possession game in the final minutes, to have those kinds of numbers, it's just really, really tough. And I say all that to say, man, when we had a healthy Mo Wagner and a good looking Jonathan Isaac and rookie Anthony Black and all those things, that bench unit was elite. It was elite.
The best bench unit in the league for good stretches.
Yeah, and I'd like to think, obviously, when Mo comes back, that he's going to lift that bench unit for sure. But how much? I don't know. Is it going to be enough to make the bench unit good again? Because right now, all that's happening is one guy is picking a night to play well. Like Anthony Black played well Friday, right? Tonight, terrible. Tristan Silva's been consistent. I think you can give him credit. Jonathan Isaac had an amazing night. What was it, in Washington or in Charlotte? I can't remember. And then, but outside of that, is not even getting opportunities to play.
You could argue that Tristan da Silva has been the Magic's most consistent player all year.
Absolutely.
Maybe one, maybe two, like not great games.
Yeah.
Outside of that has been awesome every single night. Especially
after this week when we've seen Franz and Paolo both have some pretty rough games. Yeah, he has undoubtedly been the most consistent. And so all I have to say, like just the bench unit for me, man, it just has to be better if we're going to have a better chance at winning some of these games. And again, we just need Mo Wagner to have a chance at that, I think.
I don't want to like start harping on Tyus Jones, but for me, you cannot play him. No, there's nothing more apparent to me on this roster when it comes to like a lineup decision outside of like not being able to play Tyus Jones. There's nothing that I'm more confident about than that when it comes to these playing groups. The top two lineups that he's played in, 17 minutes he's played with Goga, Franz, AB, Tristan da Silva, a 131.6 offensive rating, a 132.4 defensive rating, negative 0.9. Next most played lineup, 16 minutes, Tyus, Wendell, Desmond, Franz, Paolo. So this is with the starters. 86.1 offensive rating, 140.5 defensive rating, negative 54.4. He played 14 minutes with Goga, Paolo, AB, Tristan. That is a positive 37.9. But then these are his next lineups. negative 5.4, negative 9.5, negative 53.3. Like those, like 5 out of his top 7 most played lineups are all negative net ratings. He's out there literally, he's giving you less than nothing. Like it's not like he's a net neutral out there. He's nothing offensively, and he is one of the worst defensive players I remember playing for this team. Like legitimately. Like DJ Augustine got picked on a lot in his time here. Like they're, similar roles, similar sizes and everything. But DJ Augustine shot like 50% on spot up threes.
That's right.
They're the big difference in what we're talking about here. So yeah, like to me, like one of like surefire way to at least get a little bit more is, and we're talking about a guy who's on a 1-year rental. Like you have no reason to continue to invest in this guy. And when you are preaching that if you're not contributing to winning, you're not going to see the floor. This guy is not contributing to winning. He is contributing to winning for the other team. Like it's just enough is enough.
And here's the thing. If because of the Jalen minutes restrictions or whatever, you like Jamal Mosley needs to play someone for 10 minutes a night, then play Jace Richardson.
Hey, guess what? Play Tristan Da Silva more minutes.
Yeah. Anybody, literally, like, I don't know. Even if you just justify it by saying we need to play a lead guard for 10 minutes to relieve then play Jace. Play Jace for 10 minutes. Try it out. What's the worst that can happen? It can't be worse than this.
Cannot be worse.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
And Tristan, by the way, is averaging 21.2 minutes per game. You could argue he should be playing like 27 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Because of like the minutes restriction with Jalen and everything. Not that, they play the same role, but like he just makes winning plays every second that he's on the floor.
Yeah, I'm surprised
even if he missed. Huh?
Sorry, I'm surprised it's saying he's played 21 minutes a game. Like to me, it feels like it's 16. Like I don't know. It could always be more.
It's absolutely not enough. And whatever is going on with Paolo, like the thing, he hasn't been like bad, but we just know there's a better, more dominant guy in there. And I don't know if it's like, for example, I know there's all kinds of illnesses going around the league. Like Steph Curry has missed like a week being sick. Yeah. So I don't know if, maybe because he does kind of look like that type of low energy, like he's fighting some kind of illness, or if it's just like he's just trying to make it work so badly for the team and for the offense and trying to get other guys going. And he's doing a good job of that. But it's like, bro, some nights we just need you to go out and get 35 points.
Yeah.
Like if he's anywhere near the first 3 quarters of what he was in that fourth, he drops 40 tonight, like without batting an eye.
Yeah, that's true.
And like some nights, like I do want to see him be like, you know what? We're losing games. I'm being too passive. It's not working. I'm going to just try going out and willing us to a win tonight. Yeah. And again, he hasn't been bad. Like if we go through, his stats on the season, 22.8 points per game, 45% from the floor. Want to see him overall just be a little bit more efficient. 22% from 3. The jumper has not been falling. 77.8% from the free throw line. I believe that would be a career high. I think we would all take that. 9.1 rebounds per game. He's legitimately leading the team in rebounds. And also he's tied for the lead on the team in assists per game. 4.4 assists, 2.9 turnovers, 2 to 3. Paolo, he's always going to kind of live in that space. And he's leading the team in blocks per game as well. So he's not playing bad by any means, but we all know that he just has another level to get to. And he just hasn't gotten to that level yet this year. And we need him to get to that level. We really, really do.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you something, Jonathan, / ask you a question. Tonight was the Magic's 10th game of the season, which puts them now 12% into the season. We have now moved 12% into the season. That's not nothing.
No.
Is that enough of a sample size for you? We've been joking small sample size a lot since preseason, but 10 out of 82 games come and gone. Is that enough of a sample size that we can now officially see what this team is, who this team is, and those sorts of things?
Yes. The one thing that there's a few things that I'm very confident about. number one being you can't play Tyus Jones. Outside of that, though, this team does have an identity. I know we've been like, what's the identity? Like, what's going on? Like, they do have an identity. It's just whether or not they choose to embrace it. Their identity has to be, we need to slow the game down a little bit. We've seen the pace like creep down over the last couple of games here. And like, this wasn't an awful defensive performance. Like outside of those few minutes, like Anthony Simons, yes, it was unfortunate that they kind of let him walk into a couple to get going. But like he was just like go back and watch the sequence with Franz guarding him. Like it was fantastic defense. And he just hits like a 30-foot step back with a hand in his face. Nothing but net. It wasn't even close to touching the rim. When a guy is doing that, there's not a lot that you can do. And honestly, I came away from the halftime when they were able to go on that, I think it was like 18-6 run to close the second to tie it up at the half. I was like, okay, we withstood like a 25-point flurry from Anthony Simons and the game is tied. He's not going to do that again. And he didn't score for the rest of the game. So it was like, if we can just clean up the turnovers, which they didn't, and we can knock down some shots, which they didn't, we're in this game and we should be able to win it pretty comfortably, but none of that came to fruition. So I do feel confident that this team has an identity. They just have to embrace it for a full 48 minutes. If they do that, we saw it a lot last year. You embrace being that team, like most nights, you either won those games or like you were in them to be able to win them. Outside of that, like, I'm not worried about anything that's going on with Franz. I don't love what's going on with Paolo, but we've just seen him be too good for too long to be like, oh my gosh, it's 10 games. The sky is falling, blah, blah, blah. For, like, we're saying this kid had a crappy game or whatever. 28 points, 9 of 16 from the floor, 10 of 10 at the free throw line. It's still a good game. It is. You hate the turnovers. The turnovers killed you in some senses, but he was still able to put the ball in the bucket tonight.
Yeah. I'm
not worried about that. Another thing that I'm very confident on, we have to figure out what the freak we are doing with Desmond Bane. Because right now, 4 first-round picks for what? And it's not his fault. I'm really not looking at Desmond Bane like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, he had good games. Like, Friday was a very good game. He hasn't been perfect. Don't get me wrong by any means. But, like, bro, you're the head coach of this team or whoever in charge of offensive play calling. If he's not getting up shots because he's not getting up shots, you grab him by the jersey, you get in his face, and you say, brother, shoot the freaking basketball. That's not happening. We cannot live in a world where it's okay for Anthony Black to get 4 threes, Tristan Da Silva to get 5 threes, Wendell to get 6 threes, Franz Wagner to get 4 threes, Paolo Banchero gets 5 threes. Like, I'm looking at the roster outside of those guys. So all of those other guys combined for 28 threes, and Desmond Bane gets 1.
Yeah.
Like, even if you have to tell him, like, hey, we're going to set like a high ball screen, and you're just going to take 2 dribbles and pull up. We just need to get you looks. Or I don't know if it's not in the bag or if they're trying to run sets to get him open looks and the other team is just like completely jamming them. If you're not able to run sets to get this guy 2 open threes in a game, there's a disconnect somewhere. Either you're not calling them frequently enough or the sets that you're calling are not good and they're not working and you need to figure something else out. This is not good enough. Right now, I think he's tied with a couple of guys in terms of 3-point attempts. Yeah. Desmond Bane, Paolo, Jalen are all shooting 4.1 threes a game. Franz is shooting 4.4. Tristan is shooting 4.6. I'm fine with Tristan and Franz taking those shots. I'm fine with Jalen and Paolo taking those shots, by the way. AB's at 3.5. You can't argue with Dell. He's shooting 3 on 46.7%. He's got to keep taking those.
Yeah.
But we're talking 8-9 attempts. He's getting half of that. Like, we talked how just plugging Desmond Bane into the old Orlando Magic offense can't be the answer. It kind of needs to be. Like, if he's able to shoot 38% on 6 attempts a game, that's better than what we were getting from KCP last year.
Yep.
Like, 10 games in, the sample size is big enough to, like, you all need to sit in a freaking room, take a good long look at each other. I'm talking about the coaching staff, or involve Desmond in that conversation if you need to and say, what do we need to do to get this guy more attempts? Because what we're doing right now clearly is not good enough. And outside of that, there's nothing that I feel super duper strongly about outside of those three things.
So, follow-up question then. Is 10 games, 12% of the season, is that enough time to hit the panic button? Like, are you full on
this team, 100%.
Yeah.
On the team, yes. We'll get to the week ahead, but like Portland, New York, Brooklyn, Houston, you probably need to go 3-1 this week. And then that puts you at 7-7, because then it's Golden State, the Clippers, who haven't been good, but New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, San Antonio, Miami, New York, Denver, Utah, Golden State, Portland, Charlotte, Denver, Toronto, Indiana, Chicago. Like you're getting into a very, 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 very difficult stretch of the season here after this week. And like, you're going to be lucky to be 500 going into that.
Yeah.
Like, we're in territory of like, you don't turn things around, you're going to be like a 5-6 seed at best.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Right. Maybe a play-in team, right? I mean, right now they are a play-in team. Statistically.
Right now they're not a play-in team.
Oh, they dropped out of the play-in today?
We're 11.
Oh, great.
That might change with some results around the league as we're recording here, but like when we hit record here, we were 11th.
Great. Yep, still are 11th. Half game back behind the Celtics. Half game up on the mighty Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
The stinging, swarming Hornets, dude.
Yeah, stinging, swarming Hornets. So, yeah, I'm trying to think about like what my level of panic is through 12% of the season. Yeah, I think I'm there. I think I'm.
You ever wake
panicked.
up and realize like, oh man, I didn't pay my electric bill yet. Like, they're not quite like sending delinquency letters yet to tell you we're gonna like shut off your power, but like, oh man, I missed that by like 2 or 3 days. Like, that panic that sets in. You're like, oh, as long as I just pay it right now, everything's gonna be fine. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not like foreclosure on my home or anything kind of panic, right. But like I'm at like a, oh my gosh, like healthy level of panic.
That's a terrific analogy. I just need to tell you, that's very good. I think that's
Appreciate
very accurate. But yeah, it's really, really tough pill to swallow, honestly, that this is where we are 10 games into the season, not how any of us expected it. Even if we came into this, which some people did, even if people came into the season expecting there to be some sort of, challenges with transition. I don't mean basketball transition. I mean, new offensive scheme and adding Desmond Bane and all that kind of stuff. I think even those people would not have picked this team to go 4-6 through 10 games. Like, even if we thought there was a break-in period, I think this is worst case scenario right now, outside of obviously some kind of injury or something. But 4-6, again, given the schedule, you won't have an easier stretch than this. I know the first week was hard travel-wise. It was hard because you played 5 games in 8 nights to start the season or whatever it was. I get that. But as far as opponents go, we are now reaching the end tomorrow night, the end of the easiest stretch of our entire schedule. And the best we can be is 5-6 out of those 11 games. So that's not great. That's a little bit scary. So yeah, I'd say I'm hitting the panic button.
I mean, I think it's completely fair. I don't think, I think everything that we've said, totally fair criticisms. I know when this team turns it around, we'll be the first people to give everybody involved credit. Yeah. But right now, it's not good. This ain't what we signed up for.
Yeah.
4-6 through 10 games. I do feel like we've turned a little bit of corner in terms of like the defensive performances and like some of the like effort kind of stuff. Like the body language isn't great, but it's not as bad as it felt like a week and a half ago. But like, again, to me, it's the biggest problem with this team at this moment in time. The shooting is always going to be a variable unless you legitimately find a way to get Desmond Bane 9 3-point attempts. I have zero faith in that happening, by the way. Yeah. Like, even if you just throw the first 10 games out and we just go the next 72 games, I have zero faith that he gets to 8 attempts per game. I don't see it happening. Yeah. But like, if he's able to start getting like 6-7 attempts per game and shoots 40%, I think that can help this offense a ton. if Wendell continues to shoot the way that he's shooting, by the way, 46% from three, it's only another couple of weeks until teams are going to go, all right, we actually have to respect this. Like Jalen's shooting the ball really well, like especially in that starting lineup. It's only a matter of time if this keeps up. And it's so important that it keeps up for another couple of weeks because, one, it's going to do so much for these guys' confidence, especially if Desmond's able to kind of snap out of it and start hitting threes as well. I really think if Desmond starts to hit 3 or 4 threes a game, for this team, it just is going to open up so much. Teams are going to have to start to respect all the guys around Paolo and Franz. So that I do think the offense has another level that it can get to. But if they can just kind of settle defensively and take care of the basketball, we're just seeing like mindless, careless turnovers. Turnovers are going to happen with this team. Like, it doesn't feel like anyone's handle is just so good that they're going to be able to avoid all of those together. We've got guys that are always going to be a little bit loose with it. But you just can't have these 17 to 20 turnover games. If you're able to keep it to 14, 15 turnovers a game, this team is just going to like fall into wins, and they really need to do that. And I do think you can coach turnovers to a certain extent. You can't get on guys for every little thing, but like the egregious stuff, which we've seen a lot of egregious stuff through the first 10 games, that stuff has to be called out in film and be like, great idea, can't have it.
Yeah.
And just kind of move on from it. So, but yeah, I am panicked. My hopes for like the 1, 2, 3 seed are I would love to be proven wrong, but for me, they're almost dead at this point. Like I don't see this team. Again, I would love to be proved wrong, but I'm losing faith that this team is going to just be able to turn it around and like go on a crazy run because they're just not showing it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe lose belief that's okay. That's all right. Hold on, Jonathan, you're overreacting because you're only 3.5 games back. I'm just so frustrated. Like I'm just dejected. Like I wanted to be like getting on here every couple of nights, high five and talking about how awesome this is for the team to finally be really, really good.
Yeah.
And we just had been teased for, 4 months ahead of this after the Desmond Bane trade. And it just sucks to have to be getting on here and being like, man, like this team should be 7-3 right now. Like at worst, this team should be 7-3.
Yeah.
And they're 4-6.
Yeah. It's tough. And it doesn't really get easier this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to jump to the week ahead now, but like Portland on Monday tonight, as you're listening to this, if you're listening on Monday.
Which Portland is 5-4, guys. Don't look at Portland and be like, oh man, we're gonna get a win.
That's what I was
Portland's
about to say.
Beaten some really good teams.
That's what I was about to say. I was looking through their schedule. They have beaten in their 5 wins. First off, they're 5-4. They're over 500, which we're not. They've beaten Golden State, the Lakers, the Jazz, the Nuggets, and they're the only team to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder so far this season. And so, that's a good basketball team. And you're on the second night of a back-to-back, and they aren't. So that's tough. Then you go to MSG on Wednesday. That's
I wonder
tough.
how much Chauncey Billups was like betting on their losses last year.
Oh my gosh, imagine. And then Friday you host Brooklyn, which right now Brooklyn looks really, really bad.
Yeah.
And then next Sunday you go to Houston. Like that's a tough week. That is a tough week. Portland at New York, Brooklyn at Houston. That's a little bit tough. I'm terrified about predictions of this one, but
I don't remember a 5-game stretch where you don't have consecutive home or away games.
Yeah.
Home,
Very
away,
unique.
home, away, home.
Right. Very
Portland,
unique.
New York, Brooklyn, Houston, Golden State next Tuesday.
And I don't remember us ever having a there and back trip to Houston. That feels very random to me. I'm sure it's happened.
We've had them to San Antonio, but
correct,
Houston it usually feels like it's part of a like there's a Dallas or like an OKC kind of like sprinkled in there.
Very strange, but I'm sure it's happened. But to me, just seeing that on the calendar, I was like, that's weird. But okay, Jonathan, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'm going to go first this week. I'm going to say you beat Portland, you lose to New York. You beat Houston, you'll lose. I'm sorry, you beat Brooklyn, you lose to Houston. You win your home games this week, you lose the road games.
Mm-hmm. Woof. It says a lot that I'm closer to saying 1-3 than I am to 3-1.
You know what? I'm pretty close to 1-3.
Yeah.
I'm as close to 1-3 as you can be while still being 2-2.
That's one way to put it. Here's what I'm going to do. Just because I'm a sucker for, well, I'm just a sucker.
Your words.
Yeah, that's true. You better beat Brooklyn. Okay, so there's your one for the week, and just because I think this team is still capable of doing something stupid, something ridiculous that makes no sense.
0-4, really, Kev? That's where you're
No,
going?
I'm going to have them beating the Knicks at MSG on Wednesday to go 2-2. That's what I'm going to do. I think they lose to Portland tomorrow at home, and the vibes are bad, like real bad. And then just out of the blue, you go to MSG and you beat the Knicks. And then you come home and you beat the Nets and then you lose in Houston. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to say 2-2 and just a very fun version of 2-2. And we'll see what actually happens.
Kevin, I'm gonna take us back in a time machine. I'm gonna go back to January 12th, 2019, when the Magic were 17-24. They have a weekend back-to-back against the Boston Celtics and the then James Harden Houston Rockets, where they win against Boston 105-103, and then at home over Houston 116-109.
I remember it very well.
Now, they lose their next three, win one against Atlanta, and then lose four in a row. And then something in that team just changed where they go 22-9 the rest of the season, end up 42-40, make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. Like those two games against Boston and against Houston, they just kind of found something in those that they were able to take with them for the rest of the year. And I am praying to God that they do that this week. Like, I can't. It sounds so ridiculous to even say what I'm going to say right now, but I'm going to say it anyways because I'm a eternal optimist here. Win all four this week. Flip the script. Show us like no, like we figured it out. Now we're going to be fine going the rest of the way here.
Yeah.
Like be the 7th seed this time next week, and let's just keep it going. I'm saying 2-2, but I'm really hoping for 4-0. That would just be that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Jonathan, I was hoping for 83-0, and then look where we are. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. I did just check the Knicks are going to be on the second night of a back-to-back on Wednesday, so that's something. The Magic will not, obviously. So, is that enough to get the win? Probably not. But I just feel like this team is just so capable of doing something ridiculous like that. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it sounds like we're both at 2-2 for the week.
Paolo turns like back into 110% Paolo. Desmond Bane gets more than 1 3-point attempt per game, and they defend. This team can turn things around and rattle off some wins. But
I have to add one more thing. I just realized you mentioned Paolo. Paolo's birthday is Wednesday. He's playing at MSG on his birthday. You gonna change your prediction? No. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Fine.
I want to. I really want to. I think he can have a big game.
Yeah.
But like, it sucks because like this team has killed the like any level of confidence and maybe a little bit of like naive arrogance that I had about this team going into the season, where I was like, yo, we can beat anybody, blah blah blah. Yeah. This team has like already beat that out of me.
Yeah.
And I want to just be like, no, of course we're just going to turn around. Everything's going to be great. But like. I think they have to earn that back from us.
100%. That's what I was about to say. They have to earn that confidence back because it's totally gone. Completely gone. Zero confidence against any team, any night, except for the Wizards. But
if you asked me a month ago whether or not we would beat this Portland team, I'd be like, you mean by 20 or 30?
Right.
You know, like, but oh well. Yeah. All right. Watch party Wednesday, folks. Let's go. Let's get fired up for that. Wall Street. It's going to be a win. It's going to be a win.
Paolo. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Paolo. Wall Street watch party. Man, that's a mouthful there. Games on ESPN. So I think that means that this game won't be on.
This will be on.
Candles?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay, perfect. Great. Let's get a dub. Need it badly. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. For Kevin Tucker, this has been Jonathan Osborne. You all have been listening to The Sixth Man Show, and we will catch you guys next time. See ya.
Thanks for listening to The Sixth Man Show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and Spotify to get new episodes downloaded directly to your phone. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to give us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps out the show a lot. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sixth Man Show. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Magic!